Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to the new series, Picking Up the Pieces. Okay, folks, as people begin to make their way in, as people start to show up, I made a promise yesterday that if the authorities dropped the ball on this situation that we were going to talk about, a lot of things that needed to be talked about today. What's going on, brother Ian? So we're going to definitely do that today. We're going to go into uh, basically, it's been a couple of days, and in a couple of days, I found out more than I expected. So, and we're probably still going to be finding out more and more as the week progresses. But it's pretty big. What's going on, Danny? So, um, it's going to be a big subject today that we're going to be tackling. Um, and this is again back to one of the hardest ones I've got to do, but I more or less have no choice. I kind of have to. How do I put this? Basically, it's time to put the pressure where the pressure needs to be. So, if any of you have the capability of sharing this out to anyone you know, we need to. This is one of these times that we got to get the pressure where the pressure is, so something can get done. So, if you can get the information out for this live stream, because this one's going to be a big one. Okay. Now, first and foremost, for those who do not know, you know, dear old Prince Magnum has continually admitted that, I dropped the ball in this relationship in many, many ways. Thank you so much, Ian. Appreciate you, brother. So, this was big. This one's huge. We're gonna have to basically. This is one of these live streams that um, this is one of these live streams that, in a nutshell, um, we have to get the information out so something can be done. Um, Something that could save my wife's life. So that is where it stands right now. And I know it seems like, man, that seems awfully big, Prince Magnum. Yes, it is. And I know that she's probably not going to want to speak to me after this. She's going to be very angry. But when you love someone as much as I do, and I think there's a lot of husbands out there right now, husbands and wives, period, however it falls in your relationship and whatnot, I think a lot of you will definitely understand. Okay, when I say, "Oh, thank you so much, Danny, appreciate it." So basically, what's going on, Zero? So as everyone makes their way in, please also understand there is an excellent chance that Princess Faye may decide to show up today. If she does, her moderator status has been taken away. Passwords have been changed last night, and on top of that, um, she may say some things that are pretty nasty. Please do not. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Please do not ban her, time her out, take down the comment, but she is not to be banned from the channel. Yeah, I understand. She's gonna be mad when this starts coming out. Okay, so that is what I expect all moderators to do today, and anyone who's already here and that sort of thing. As moderators do make their way in, because I imagine this is going to be a lot like yesterday. Um, give them the heads up if y'all would. Okay. So that's kind of what we're going to expect today. I do expect maybe a little bit of hostility, I guess you could say. But we're going to be civil. All right. We're going to be civil. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to get the information out. We're going to put the pressure on the authorities that need to have it done. Hey, what's going on, T Belly? I am hanging in there, brother. I'm hanging in there. Basically, some new information came my way yesterday. This is a lot more serious than I anticipated. And basically, if you can share this out to anyone, this is a big one to share out because it may save my wife's life. Okay, she's probably not going to want to talk to me after this. She's probably even going to want a divorce. But I'd rather her hate me than have something happen to her. She means that much to me. I would rather her hate me for the rest of her life than something bad happen to her. Okay? And I basically said that yesterday in yesterday's live stream, if the authorities dropped the ball on this one, that I was gonna put the pressure where pressure needed to be. So we're getting ready to kick this off. And again, as moderators that are coming in, I know my wife is going to show up, possibly at some point. She's going to get really angry. She's going to try to say some nasty stuff. Don't block her. Time her out. Take down the comment. But other than that, let her be. Okay? She has her right to be angry too. And she's still just as welcome. Yeah, it's pretty serious. It's pretty serious, okay? So strap yourself in. Okay. We all know that Saturday night, as I was wrapping up Save the World, my wife basically had packed up her and our cat Galaxy and left. Okay, that is already kind of common knowledge. Okay, now, yeah. Well, I found out a little bit more after we talked, Danny. We're going to get to all that today. Now, please understand that we're also going to be talking about subjects that I know some people have different viewpoints on, but you also have to understand when I start talking, I'll be talking from a viewpoint of someone who's actually in recovery. And again, I'm over 15 years sober, creeping up on 16 years sober as of February the 7th. I appreciate that, Danny. Thank you. So when I say this, I mean this, so I'll be talking, hey, what's going on, Pinkers? So I'll be talking in a manner of someone who comes from a history of chemical dependency, okay? Because with the life that I lived, yes, it was alcohol, but there was a few times there was drugs thrown in there as well. I always had to be drunk before, So, all right, we all know that Princess Faye left Saturday night. We'd been having problems for a while, but I evidently Okay. We'll have to hook up on a Facebook Messenger if you've got it. That's about the easiest way to get a hold of me anymore. But, all right, so here it is. Well, most people have heard the story of how Princess Faye and I met, okay? And I kind of knew this, but it became very apparent in like the last week leading up to this. She had actually said, y'all have to understand, Princess Faye has went through an awful lot, okay? She's been through a lot, okay? Bad relationships even before me, even as a teenager, okay? However, when when we first started talking, she was suffering some severe depression. And I didn't know what degree the depression was coming from. I didn't know if it was just, like the true, manic depression sort of thing, or if it was something going on in her life. The more and more we talked, more and more I discovered it was what she was going through. I understand. So what ends up happening is when Princess Faye, hey, what's going on, Hell Girl? I'm pretty sure you already know by now. We're actually talking about some stuff that needs to kind of come out. Hell Girl, if you could share this out to anyone you know, we're getting to that, Craig. We're getting to that. Again, moderators, while you are here, I know that Princess Faye is going to show up. Whatever you do, her moderator status has been taken away. Do not block her if she says anything nasty. Okay? Don't block her. Just take down the comment, time her out. Okay? All right. When Princess Faye and I met, we were playing World of Warcraft. okay? We were playing World of Warcraft. Oh, folks. That's already started, huh? Okay. So, in a nutshell, uh, yeah, you guys are already swinging those wrenches. Good job, guys. Good job, moderators. Um, Let me say right now, when we met playing World of Warcraft. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. Swing those wrenches. Right, Funny Games. We'll. So when we met playing World of Warcraft, and it was just a random, a pug group. We got to, and we started talking. Appreciate that, Craig. We're going to get down to brass tacks. So, we kind of hit it off. She was too young, way too young yet. But the more and more we talked, it's like, it was kind of like we kind of knew that something was going to happen. Well, because we were hitting it off so well. So she was 17. When she turned 18, flew out. I bought her a ticket, sight unseen, trusting in the God of my understanding, and flew her from Oregon to Missouri. And then it began. Okay, the excitement began. And it was a lot of fun. However, I did not know this. Okay, and I knew some of while we were talking. She was experiencing a lot of, like I said, depression, and I didn't know where it was coming from because I started hearing all these stories, how her mother was mentally abusive. Her mother's a travel agent for guilt trips, but to the point where it was actually causing her severe depression. Yeah, it's like that. Okay. Then on top of that, and Ian and I actually talked about this, her dad has actually once, while she was 14, sexually assaulted her. There's no other way to put it. Sexually assaulted her. Okay. By the way, this is the family she's going to live around. All right. This is the family that she says, oh, there's a great support system. You always run back to the ones that treat you the worst, right? By the way, the authorities do know about all of this. I've told them myself. Okay? There's no reason for me to lie about this. And her family lives up in Beaverton, Oregon. Now, I will not give any names from there. The police up there already know this story and refuse to do anything about it. We're going to get to that a little bit deeper. When Princess Faye came here, no, it's good. You're good. When Princess Faye came out here, she actually admitted, Donuts, there's a reason for this, okay? Because I know my wife's going to be very angry with me, and she's probably never going to want to speak to me again. But the thing of it is that I know she needs help, all right? So, and it's severe enough that I have to, no. I'm trying to get her help, okay? I love her that much that I'm trying to get her help. So just sit back and you'll hear more, okay? Don't jump the gun yet, all right? Don't put the cart before the horse, all right? Number one, her parents need to be brought to justice, okay? Here in Missouri, I've been trying to get certain family members brought to justice because of things they did to me. And that still hasn't happened. But I know out there in Oregon, they take it a little bit more serious. But it's one of those things that my wife has to be the one to press the charges, but she's not mentally stable enough to press the charges. Okay? So we're going to get to all that, all right? So when she came to Missouri on that flight, she actually openly admitted on more than one occasion, and even to me, that she was hoping I was some sort of crazy serial killer. Yeah, because she didn't have the courage to do it herself, of all the things. All right? I don't know. It could be anything. Could be anything. I mean, some of the neighbors are driving and that sort of thing. So, and there's a storm kind of moving in the area, so it's going to be spotty today. But here's the thing, okay? We were happy, and then, things got tough and that sort of thing. And we got married, things got rough, okay? We've had children taken away. No, it's not like that. It's a little bit more. You got to understand, Zelda, you always make me nervous when you get up there, sweetie. Yeah. And we had our problems. What's going on, Bitsy B, Broken Mike? Welcome to the live stream. The rest of the moderators will get you caught up to speed here in just a second. Actually, she's not feral. She's always been that way. But here's the thing, okay? We had our problems. We've even had children taken away from us illegally by the state of Missouri. It was very illegal how they did it. Like one of them, because, was over breastfeeding. Breastfeeding, of all things. Well, we'll get to that. We'll just bear with me, okay? Now, again, I'm not saying I'm not at fault in a lot of ways in this relationship. I screwed up a lot, okay? But the thing of it is, and I screwed up bad in a lot of cases. I mean, really bad. Like, really, really bad, all right? So I'm not denying that. Princess Faye even got with me shortly after my stroke, okay? And 3 years sober, so I was still kind of a mental case then. So that should go without saying, all right? Well, by the time she turned... Hey, what's going on, Carla? Right. Again, I'm not blasting Princess Faye. She went through a lot. Now, I'm blasting her family because of the fact that basically she came to me broken like that, okay? She came to me very, very broken. So she was always kind of battling those little demons of hers. And then with the problems that we constantly had in our relationship, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I screwed up bad. Very bad a lot of times in our relationship. I always tried to do right, but there was always those times that I screwed up, and when I screw up, I don't do it half-ass. I do it all the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Here's the thing, okay? So again, I want to remind everyone, if you have a capability of sharing this out, we need to get this shared out, all right? Get it out to everyone you know. And basically, we need to put the pressure on the authorities in Beaverton, Oregon for dropping the ball last night. We're going to get to all that, all right? However long it takes. So, in those early days, about time she turned 21. Oh, I blame them for a lot of this, okay? I blame them for a lot of this. Again, as I said earlier in the stream, her mother actually does guilt trips so hardcore that it messed her up. I understand, some moms like to do that, okay? And I've met a few that will have this nasty habit of guilt tripping their kids. But this took it to a point where it caused severe depression with Princess Faye. On top of that, as I also said, her father did once sexually assault her. Thank you so much, Danny. And neither one of these two have been brought to justice over this stuff. All right? And I tried to be civil about this, but the thing of it is now what we're dealing with, okay, after all the screw ups and everything that even I've done, and like I said, y'all can kind of understand when I say I've screwed up big time a few times. Around the time we were 21, well, that Princess Faye was turned 21, we discovered that she has a problem with alcohol in a lot of ways. Now, she did learn to moderate over time, but the behaviors of an alcoholic is still there. Remember, folks, it's not the amount that you drink, it's what happens to you when you drink, okay? So an alcoholic doesn't necessarily have to get drunk to be an alcoholic. They don't have to get drunk all the time to be an alcoholic. So we're dealing with chemical dependency on top of this. And most of you, we kept it quiet, for the most part, pretty quiet here on the channel. All right? So this is something that, as I said yesterday, if the authorities dropped the ball, that I was going to blast. And they did. Big time. So, at a certain point, I had to tell Princess Faye to stop, because of her chemical dependency. Here in the state of Missouri, it is illegal, unless you have a doctor's prescription, to smoke marijuana. And a doctor, if a doctor knew that Princess Faye was a chemical dependent, would not prescribe marijuana. Okay? She was smoking it for a while, and I had to get onto her. And at one point, she almost got herself into a serious situation, okay, over it. For the record, I did allow her to drink in moderation because it's not my place to tell you you can't do that. She's an adult, okay? No one told me. So I had to also watch as things spiraled downward. On top of that, she was into self-mutilation, things like that. Self-mutilation, just it was rough, okay? And on top of dealing with the fact that I have my problems too, PTSD, everything else, it's been a tough relationship, okay? But here's the gist of it. All right? As all these problems were starting to kind of come to a head, we had some big problems about 3 years ago, and I thought we were working past it. We were, for the most part. We were, and that sort of thing. But in the end, okay, the problems started becoming more and more apparent. And it really started becoming a problem when she started working the night shift. Folks, when you're dealing with chemical dependency, all right, when you're dealing with chemical dependency, y'all have to understand there are, again, more problems that go on between the ears than most people would like to think, all right? And here it is in a nutshell, all right? There's an old saying in AA, don't get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. She was always tired. Now, I know there's some of you know how tired we're talking with her working the night shift. So for her, working the night shift, she was always tired. And we really didn't see each other that much. We didn't get a whole lot of time to spend with each other. So the problems became more and more apparent. Or they started to compound, if you will. So what we were dealing with is the fact that Princess Faye was getting worse because I wasn't able to help her like I was. Found out that she was cutting again. She was self-mutilating again. I knew she was drinking. She'd been doing that off and on for a while. But I found out that she'd been secretly doing drugs behind my back again. All right? And what's the severity? Well, she said she was taking this one that somebody gave her that she worked with, this medication for her stomach when she gets anxious. I didn't put two and two together. It was a prescription anxiety medication. So she was taking a prescription medication without a prescription, okay? On top of the drinking, smoking marijuana, cutting on herself. So we have a serious mental case here. All the while, her family is manipulating her in the background, making it sound like I'm the worst person in the world. Why would they do such a thing? Her mother was feeling the empty nest thing. Actually, I'm going to tell you something. Because she was going to AA meetings and was admitted in recovery, anybody who gives her a controlled substance, including alcohol, is now in violation of a Missouri law. You can't, and it's a minor felony, but it's up to 5 years. And any business that serves alcohol to an admitted alcoholic is destined to have their business shut down. So, she was going to, yep. So we didn't know to the severity it was. On top of that, I'm pretty sure I know the guy that was giving her the marijuana. So he could be facing criminal charges. It's just to what severity we let it out. Okay. So basically, we now have on the loose a self-destruct, chemical dependent with suicide, with possible suicide tendencies. I reported this, and I actually had to contact the police department here in the town, and I filed more or less something like it more or less was almost like a missing persons. She's 28. So I filed kind of what is similar. To me, it was a missing persons. Well, the reason why it's treated that way is because here in the state of Missouri, alcoholism is considered a disability. In the 1950s, the U.S. government put their stamp of approval, basically saying that alcoholism is a true disease. So, what we're dealing with right now is the fact that she's also now in the arms of her very abusive family. We do have 2 kids. But that's a story in itself. All right. And you can even go back into the channel and see some of it. So in a nutshell, you know, yep. So along with that, even addiction, drug addiction is considered the same exact way. As a matter of fact, they even tell us in AA meetings, if you go see a doctor, you need to tell them immediately on admission to a doctor's office, to an ER, whatever. If you aren't able to, you're supposed to tell them that you are an alcoholic, that you're in recovery. You tell them your sober date and that. Actually, yes, it is. Yes, it is. You have to understand, okay, marijuana is a drug. I don't care what people will try to tell you, because there are, actually, I wouldn't touch it unless I was prescribed, okay? You get it. You get it, Danny. So, again, what you have to understand, it is a drug, okay? It is a drug, because anything you put in your body that changes your physiology, if it's not food or water or something like that, You might as well say it's a drug because it changes the physiology. And I don't care what the supposed proponents are for marijuana. It does have a you have to be careful because it is. Well, it depends on the scenario. Okay. Yeah, there are folks that do that, but you also have to understand that the THC does change it even though it doesn't act like alcohol, it is addictive. Okay, give you an idea. When I was still working nursing before I had to retire, I actually met a woman that was addicted to over-the-counter acetaminophen. For those that don't know what I just said, she was addicted to Tylenol. Tylenol. There are people who get addicted to Imodium for diarrhea because if you take enough of it, it reacts like morphine. Okay? So what I'm basically saying is anything can be addictive if you're not careful. There are folks that get addicted to food, for criminy sake. So don't tell me it's not addictive when I've worked the field long enough to know better. So, and you also have to understand that that's why some states still require you to have a prescription for it. So here in the state of Missouri, she was breaking the law. Okay. On top of that, we don't know when the last time she smoked before she started her driving. I've known many of alcoholics that relapse starting off with marijuana, and then the next thing you know, they're in the bottom of a bottle. So we're back to it depends on the person, anyways. Okay. It also depends on the person, anyways. And that's a whole nother subject that we've covered on this channel probably 1,000 times over. Some people can't get addicted. Hey, well, absolutely. So we're kind of off topic, but yeah. You guys, and remember, I did say at the beginning of this, what's going on, Grave Taker? I did say at the beginning of this that I was going to be speaking from someone who has experience with addiction, with chemical dependency. All right. So, with all the things that I've described, in a nutshell, pretty much, pretty much. So now, in a nutshell, what we're dealing with is the fact that we have a highly destructive, chemical dependent that probably hates me for everything because I actually filed a report with the police because technically at this point I didn't know exactly where she was. So she's kind of a missing person. I knew kind of where she was heading. Okay. So the authorities in Beaverton, Oregon did not fully check the situation. They let her go without taking her for any mental evaluation, which she would fail at this point. They needed to. She doesn't need to go to jail because I know she transported a prescription medication over the lines, which prescription medication without a prescription, believe it or not, basically it's an illegal substance. So I know she transported that over the lines. Okay, she took the alcohol she was sipping on. That's not in the fridge. Okay, she took that with her. So we don't know. We're getting to that, Simon. So she's so now, like I said, she's around her abusive parents with chemical dependency problems, despite what some of you might think, and you're entitled to your opinion. But we're talking a chemical dependent who has self-mutilation issues and has a nasty tendency to get herself into trouble. That also broke serious laws by taking a prescription medication over state lines without a prescription may have been also, there are still some states you cannot do marijuana in. So she was transporting illegally over state lines, which is a federal offense. Doesn't matter the amount, it's still a federal offense. And on top of that, she had alcohol with her, and there are some states that it's still illegal to have certain alcohols in your state because those companies do not have a license in that state. So she was bootlegging as well. No, but our cat Galaxy was, which also means animal endangerment. So now we've got a lot of serious issues here. She broke several laws on this. And because of the amount that she probably could have had on her, it could even be treated as a, yeah. So even thinking that this is okay for her to do, I'm hanging in there, Meowgrid. I'm hanging in there. We're actually talking about how the authorities dropped the ball, and they knew all of what I just said. Okay, they knew it, and they let her go, knowing full well that she needs to be in a hospital. So, Beaverton, Oregon Police Department, you dropped the ball, and now I'm blasting you guys for dropping the ball, not pressing charges against her parents for the abuse that you now well know about. So I'm charging you guys with basically negligence, job negligence. Okay. I'm now also blasting them for endangering a life, which here in Missouri, I don't know what it would be over there, is considered involuntary. If anything happens to her, they're just as liable because they know. And again, her parents need to be brought to justice. Again, they know all of these things that I told them in this live stream. Okay. And I know Princess Faye is going to be very angry with me for saying all of these things. But the thing of it is that I know she needs help. And even if she once she gets the actual hospitalization, and I'm figuring about a month's worth in a hospital and serious therapy after that, if she still feels she hates me for doing all of this and doesn't want to ever speak to me again, I can live with that, at least if she has a chance to live a happy life. I love that woman more than any of you all could ever imagine. And if it takes her hating me to make sure that she is okay, no, I don't remember the license plate, They're already aware. They don't care. Okay? They do not care. They don't care. They don't care about human life. And see, when I told the police department over here, they know who I am because they actually will make sure that, everything's okay over here. They patrol the neighborhood regularly, and they actually keep an eye out for Project Spirit. Make sure that nobody's messing with her. Yeah, that's the thing. So we're legit actually talking about, again, she's not well. Then again, none of us really are, to be honest with you. None of us really are. But here's the thing. Then you guys know. So when I say that I am concerned, that I love that woman, I mean what I say. They won't do anything. So here's the thing. Again, you have a chemical dependent that is now on the loose with God knows what she's been doing. So, I mean, basically, those are the charges. Now, I don't obviously, if well, when the police approached her last night on that, it was kind of like a missing person slash wellness check. Okay, they didn't do anything, and she sends me a message. You just burned this bridge. Well, of course. Yeah, you get it. So she's not well, obviously. I do love her, but here's the thing. Like I said, even if she doesn't want to speak to me after this, I'll understand. But my main concern is making sure that she is well taken care of. And she does need a serious hospitalization. The entire trip, she kept complaining about anxiety attacks. Folks, she was self-medicating anxiety attacks, and when the withdrawals would hit her, she would have more anxiety than before. So that's what we're dealing with. It is serious. And even her coworker she was working with is now, because he was giving to a chemical dependent, is facing criminal charges. Now, whether or not they do anything, that would be another case, but technically he needs to go up on charges. Yeah, it is a difficult situation. I love her, but we have to, so if you could share this out to anyone you know, get the news out. The police department up there has dropped the ball in Beaverton, Oregon. They did not listen to me. They wanted to take her side and make because there was one and only that woman. I love her, and I always joke saying that she could go in, she could actually be innocent of anything that she would be accused of. Thank you, thank you. She could be innocent of anything that she's accused of, and by the time they were done talking to her, she would somehow have uh, been charged with the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Well, the one time that she was actually able to talk herself out of this mess. Now, I don't know if it was a miscommunication also between the police departments as well, but they didn't actually treat it like a full-on missing persons report. Technically, we're dealing again with someone who is mentally unstable. So, I would love it if she came home. The front door is still open, but she needs help. Thank you so much, King. Appreciate it. Get the word out. Beaverton, Oregon Police Department. I can't call you guys a police department if you're not going to do your job. You guys are right up there with Washington, Missouri Police Department, unable to actually do your jobs. You guys were instructed that you were supposed to bring a female officer over, and I told you guys to check her for any self-mutilation, and it would have told you everything. You didn't do it. So now you have someone who's around abusive parents, including her father, who did sexually assault her when she was 14 years old and has never seen justice. Thank you so much, Matt. Okay. Who's also a chemical dependent, self-destructive, and we're talking, this is serious. I suspect at any time that she's going to do, I don't know. I mean, she thinks that it's going to be better. No, it's not. because up there in Oregon, they basically let you do it recreationally, and which means that she's going to be doing it with her dad. And if she's messed up enough, her dad will take advantage of her. We already seen that in it when she was 14, putting her in that position. Thank you, Meow. So, on top of that, she was crossing through areas here in the United States, where women are turning up missing, and you find them in worst case scenarios, dead. You know, that's been going on around the Native American reservations. And at some point she crossed near one. They're up there in Oregon too. And if you know anything about the history of Portland, Oregon, about those so-called underground tunnels and how and that whole dark history, yeah, you think that doesn't still go on? Beautiful woman like that? Oh yeah, I'm worried for her. Exactly, exactly. So again, I know some that have been here, and listening. Again, this is not out of hatefulness, okay? I genuinely love that woman more than my own life. Exactly, Miaga. I'm scared for her. I am genuinely scared for her. Again, y'all know that I love that woman. And yes, I openly admit I've fucked up a lot of times pretty big in our marriage. I mean, super big. Okay? And y'all can kind of pin it together there. Okay? We both have fucked up in our relationship. But I love that woman more than my own life. And she's welcome to hate me for the rest of hers. But I would rather her hate me than for anything to happen to her. If I didn't love her, I wouldn't be so broken up. That's the real truth. And I will tell you all from the bottom of my heart, I can't imagine life right now. I don't know how I'm going to make each and every day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I put one foot in front of the other and everything and all that. But I can't, I love married life. I love, I know it'll sound creepy, but bear with me a second. There would be times she would be asleep and I would just look at her and I would say to myself, I am married to the most beautiful woman in the world. Yeah. Millen, I know she's capable of love. I felt it from her. She gave me two very beautiful children. Again, folks, I ask that you please be respectful to her. She's a very sweet woman. I do love her. And I know this is going to sound like, it sound crazy. I know. Okay, those kids are in different locations. You know, that's a story in itself that we've kind of covered on this channel, and I don't talk about it much. Okay. Um, Easy does it, Judy. My wife she's very sick. Okay. She's sick and she needs help. And I ask that y'all continue to show her love. Okay. Because she does deserve it. Right, Ian? Yeah. We won't talk about the kids. She's not well. Okay. She's not well. And she needs help. That's what I'm trying to do. There's no reason for anyone to be angry with her. If anything, be angry with me for not doing something sooner, for not getting her, pushing for her to get the hospitalization that she needs and that sort of thing. To not see the warning signs. I turned a blind eye. Absolutely. And again, I love her. I do love her. And I know that she's capable of amazing things. We've seen it right here on this channel. That woman is amazing. She's an amazing artist. I mean, she helped create the character of Cinnamon. You might as well even go so far as to even say that without her, the character is never fully unlocked. You can never see the full potential. I can't truly get into full character unless I'm in the makeup. That's when the full potential comes out, and I can't do the makeup. She's the artist. She is the key that helps unlock the character. So, again, I do love her. And I do still need her. But I will tell you that she is an amazing woman. I would love it if she also came home, Yogurt. I would love it. And she knows the front door is open. And I've told her on numerous occasions in this mess, the front door is still open if you change your mind. But the thing of it is that right now, I know she wants to be angry with me, and she's welcome to be angry. Okay? But I have to think of, when someone, whether she believes it or not, and whether anyone believes it or not, sometimes some people are hurting so bad that another person has to step in and help them. If helping her, if her hating me helps her, I'm okay with that. I do love her. I love her more than she could ever imagine. She's welcome to be angry with me. From the bottom of my heart, I love that woman. She is still, we all have our demons, okay? We all have our demons. We all have those skeletons in the closet. You don't live as long as I have. I'm 42. You don't live as long as I have without having some hang-ups or some baggage, okay? And skeletons in your closet. Hey, what's going on, Chairman? So that's where we stand on this. Again, folks, I don't want anyone to be mad at her. You can't, if someone gets cancer, no one's mad at them. But on the other hand, we should also treat her the same way, that she's sick. Okay? And even though cancer and chemical dependency and all those other issues are almost a different subject, you might as well, in this case, treat it the same way. Absolutely, Meowgrid. Absolutely. I love that woman. She's my forever. She will always be my forever. There's no woman that will ever be able to take her place. There's no woman that could ever make me as happy as she did. And I tell you guys, I'm broken up. No. Even right now, I would take her back with all that baggage, Paul. I would take her back with all the baggage and everything else and I would take her back in a heartbeat. She could tell me that, you know, she could tell me right now she was with 50 guys at once, and I would still take her back just because I love her. What's going on, Allie? Good to see you, Alley Cat. I love that woman. Y'all got to understand that no matter how sick she gets, she will always be my forever. That's why, I made the contacts that I did yesterday because I worry about her well-being. The Beaverton Police Department, Beaverton, Oregon, dropped the ball. They basically released someone that thought it was perfectly okay as a chemical dependent to do the things that she did. She broke several laws in this trip. Numerous, countless, beyond its scope, even on the federal level, thinking that this is okay. And obviously, I don't want her to get in trouble with the law. But if she is not well enough thinking that these things are okay, she's pretty sick. She's very sick. Now, I want to also reiterate, we're all sick. Yesterday I even talked about that, everybody has their hang-ups and their things that make them abnormal and that sort of thing. But the truth of it is that some are worse than others. I do have respect for myself, but I know damn full that's why this is so difficult for me. And again, if making the calls that I did and things like that, if she wants to be angry with me and then blasting, the truth about the situation, again, I'm, if she wants to blast that everywhere, she's welcome, and be angry with me. As long as she ends up getting the help that she needs, she's allowed. I will be glad to let her hate me for the rest of my life. Yeah, Princess Faye does show up in the chat. Her moderator status has been taken away. But on the other hand, don't ban her if she says anything nasty. She's allowed to say what she needs, to a degree. Obviously, if she says anything nasty, time her out. Don't ban her. She is still welcome here. She's still welcome in my life. I do love her. Now, later on, Princess Faye left me Saturday night, and I didn't know to the degree of all the problems. I was asleep at the wheel. So the Beaverton, Oregon Police Department failed in getting her the help that she needs. I'm her fucking husband. I know how bad it's gotten now. Unfortunately, yeah, you're right, Dave. Dave, you're right. Maybe that's what it's going to take. Is maybe she's got to hit a few more rungs on her way down. Thank you so much, Chairman. Appreciate that. Again, get this information out to everyone you know, because the Oregon Police Department, the Beaverton, Oregon Police Department failed in their job last night, which tells me that they're not a very good police department, especially when you have to call up there and they give you the county police first. So if you can share this out to anyone you know, we've got to we basically have to put the pressure on the police department. Thank you so much, Dave. They failed. Her parents need to be brought to justice, and she needs help. We're talking chemical dependency, self-mutilation, with suicidal tendencies. Well, she's not exactly missing. We know where she's at now. So we've done our best from here. Continue to share it out. Get the word out. They dropped the ball. They need to know they dropped the ball. And the officers that were there and talked to me last night and were, needs to go up on charges. Well, that's just it, Dave. The answer you might want to say is there's an excellent possibility. Remember, folks, when I said in the beginning, when she came here, she was hoping, everyone knows the story of how I met Princess Faye. We met playing World of Warcraft. Sight unseen, I bought her a plane ticket to come here. She came here so broken because of her family. She was hoping I was a serial killer because she couldn't do the job herself. Thank you so much, Danny. Chairman, we talked about a lot of stuff. And again, I screwed up numerous times in our marriage. Numerous times. And in some cases, severely. I want her to live a happy life, but I know she's not going to be able to do it if she doesn't get the help she needs. And if doing all of this gets her the help that she needs, and she hates me for it afterwards, yeah. Chairman, we actually talked about what happened, why, how severe the case is with Princess Faye. Well, Danny, you and I even talked about a little bit about that last night. Yeah. I've screwed up. But you know what? At day's end, we were getting through that mess. But again, we're talking about a chemical dependent that when she started her night shift job, the old saying with alcoholics, don't get too angry, hungry, lonely, or tired. And she was tired all the time. So it just made it worse. I'm scared for her. She is my beloved wife. But we've reached that hour marker. We've done all we can do right now. Again, folks, the following things that I want y'all to remember. Number one, not her fault. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mike. Yes, we're all concerned for her now. We have every right to be. So again, share it out to everyone you know. We need to hold those accountable for sending her, causing the damages that when she got here. Again, I'm not completely, I know I added to it. I screwed up. I admit it. I screwed up. And if anything, I'm just as guilty as everybody else, because I failed her as a human being too. I failed, I should have seen more. Platinum, unfortunately, no, we can't. Not at this moment. The police won't get involved. They won't do their job. But I do need to start getting ready for the next live stream today. Folks, I invite all of you to join us for Tuesday Night Madness. Almost forgot what day of the week it was. Thank you, Allie. I invite all of you to join us, and if you play Fortnite, you're more than welcome to join us. First hour of we're going to be doing kind of a joint. Ian and I will be doing a collab live stream. There you go. Appreciate it. And all are welcome. I think we talked about like 3 hours. First hour, we're going to try to keep it as family friendly as possible, but this is to kind of keep my spirits up because I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not in a good place here and here because of everything that's going on, everything that I know now. And now that it's all very apparent, again, I love my wife. Oh, no, Zero. Well, you'll be with us there in the spirit of who you are. If we get enough of us, we'll do imposters. Okay? Absolutely, Meowgren. So if y'all are able to be there, it would be wonderful. There you go. So this is kind of this a special of trying to get me to, there you go, even better. And I want to appreciate y'all for being here and giving the shout outs and things like that, getting the information out. Currently, right now, I see about 100, over 100 likes now. Keep them coming. I appreciate that. And keep sharing it out. Keep watching these videos. Well, the playback. We've got a lot of folks that, the more we get attention to this, the more they can no longer ignore us. And the more likely Princess Faye will be able to get the help that she needs. So, again, as we begin to wind down the stream, Jeanette, I appreciate that. But it's too soon for all of that. I appreciate it. But I'm not ready for that. There's actually areas that she hung out in that I practically not even touched because I want it to be almost like a shrine to her. She is my beloved wife. I'm not ready for all of that. Thank you, Pinky. I love her more than anyone can imagine. And again, this is not to be mean to anyone. This is not. I want to express that that none of this. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Pink. Thank you all for continuing to support us. I appreciate that, Danny. I do love her. I just, she means everything to me. I cannot, I did not know to the severity of this situation, but I know full well that she probably hates me. But if this is what it takes, I'm okay with her hating me. Don't be surprised if not too soon from now that y'all don't see me wearing her wedding ring around my neck in hopes that, I know this sounds crazy, but I'll probably wear that wedding ring in hopes that maybe she comes home. I love her that much. Like, here's your ring. I still love you. Thank you, Yagrin. I love her that much. I'm not the vindictive person that I once was. Doesn't mean that I don't get those tendencies in my head, but when you love someone like that much, how far are you willing to go? I'm willing to make her hate me if it means that she's going to be okay. I probably won't ever take it off. I don't believe there's anyone that could ever be in the role of, being my other half, except for Princess Faye. That's how much I love her. People come and go, but a love like that will always be forever, far beyond the counting of time. And I will never stop loving her. Hi, Miss Bethy. We're getting ready to wind down the stream. If you've been here the whole time, thank you. This is what it's all about, folks. If you ever all wondered how much a man could love a woman, you heard it today. Absolutely, Meowgers. You guys are awesome. So as we begin to wind down the stream, I want to remind y'all, if you have that someone special, don't take anything for granted. Keep them close to you. Keep them very close to you. Don't take anything for granted. Thank you, Martin. You guys are awesome. Absolutely. Life is way too short. We're just a tick on the clock. But as we begin to let out for the day, if no one has told any of you, especially my wife, that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.